Recently I did a video showing how I went from 2 fuel pumps, one in tank and one on the frame rail on this SVO, it's a 1985 Mustang SVO, to a single high volume, high performance in-tank fuel pump. And as I was getting ready to install it, I took a final inspection inside. I guess I should have seen this better. I was putting new gaskets everywhere. There's a seal. And when I took a look inside, I was kind of horrified to see all the rust in there. Pretty rough. I did not take the fuel level sending unit out. I only took the fuel pump out. I should have taken a closer look at this thing. So now I'm going to use some Evapo-Rust right there. I'm going to pour it in there and see if I can't remove the majority of that. Of course, the first thing I got to do is get the residual fuel out of there. I thought I'd gotten it all out, but that's what I'm going to do. And in this video, I'm going to show whether or not I achieved my objective. Stay tuned. I poured all the gas out and I rinsed it out with water, and it was unbelievable the amount of brown stuff that came out. I guess it was residual rust and maybe some varnish from the gas from being too old. By the way, I'm never going to run anything but ethanol-free gas in this vehicle again because it hardly gets driven. Poured a full gallon of Evapo-Rust in there, and you can see it's beginning its process. Probably gonna have to let it sit in here for about 24 hours. And what I'm gonna have to do is just shift the tank around this way, that way, because a gallon isn't enough to fill up the bottom of that. So it's gonna take me more than a couple days to get that done. And we'll get back to it after I do that process. 24 hours have gone by and I've manipulated the tank to try to get that solution moving around in there to get to all the rust. I'll show you that in a second, but one thing I thought I'd share was this transmission hoist. Now, I'm not recommending you buy one of these to do this operation with your tank, but it sure has made it easier for me to remove the tank and also to manipulate it because it's got adjustments underneath that allow me to shift the tank around and get that solution where I need it. So inside, let's take a look. It's left this green film that needs to be washed out. And here you can see that I've got the solution against the rusty areas once again on this side of the tank. So we're gonna let it sit another 24 hours and then I'll probably shift it again to make sure I can get all that rust out of there. And this solution is reusable. So I'm gonna take it out of the tank and put it back in that container for the next operation. Just an FYI. Quick side note, while this is continuing to work the rust off, I wanted to explain why I'll never use ethanol gas in here again. And that's because ethanol, similar to dry gas, absorbs moisture, and it held that moisture in the tank, and that's what caused the rust. And since I don't drive this vehicle much, then I don't want to have a fuel in there that's going to absorb moisture. So I'll probably have to use some fuel treatments every once in a while, but I'm going to use the number one, higher performing 93 octane fuel that will not absorb moisture. I've had to manipulate this tank many times, this way, that way, that way, that way, just to get the solution to contact the rust. And it's significantly different. I've already shown you a little bit. It's green, but it's not rust. This part here, there might be a little rust left there, but in this area here where I'm showing you, that was pure rust, a real problem. So this Evapo-Rust works. I'm gonna let it sit another 24 hours and then I'm gonna hose it out and try to figure out how to dry it out real quick so I don't get any flash rust. I left the Evapo-Rust in there a couple weeks, and what I ended up with is a yellow film inside. There's a little bit of surface rust, but that's not gonna cause me any problem. I'm pretty confident. But I rinsed it out really good. That yellow is normal. Apparently it's a chemical reaction, so I don't have to get it out. I rinsed it out really good, and now I'm using a heat gun to evaporate all the water so I don't get any flash rust in there. But I think it looks pretty good in there. If I can get it focused, I don't know why. All right. Fuel tank is back on the transmission stand, and what I wanted to find was something that would prevent rust. So I did some research and found out that STA-BIL has a fogging oil that is good for storing engines. Won't cause any problems, and I've sprayed it in here all over to make sure that there's no rust until I put fuel in it. And again, as I've mentioned, I'm only going to use non-ethanol fuel, so there's no attraction of moisture. And I'm also going to keep the tank full, especially in the winter. So that's it. I'm going to go ahead now and put the fuel level sending unit back in, as well as the fuel pump, and get her ready to go back up into the Mustang. Time to reinstall all the parts, and I've got myself some new sealing rings, gaskets. Maybe you can see this, but here are two new ones, and here's the old one. You can see it's very thin and degraded. It may not even be as good as the new ones. So I'm going to go ahead and use these with a little bit of grease just to make sure they seal. And when I'm tightening up these rings, that I'm not going to cause any damage or galling to those O-rings. Putting the fuel sending unit in first. I want to make sure not to bend that rod that holds the float. I've had a problem with that before, and it will definitely cause a problem with your proper fuel level. Now here you can see the old filter. It's not even old. This is the filter I put in with the new pump, and look at the rust and discoloration. So I got myself a new filter. I'm going to go ahead and pop this one off, put the new one on, and so then I'll make sure that I have a quality filter going back in the tank. I've got the sock facing toward the front of the tank, and these are obviously going to face toward the front. And this is a little fun putting it back in as well. I want to make sure we don't damage the sock. Let's fit it in there. And now the fun part of getting this portion of the return line in. It's not the easiest thing to do. I'm going to twist that clip around. Hopefully that helps me get it in. All right, I had to push that fuel return line in a little bit just to bend it slightly. Didn't bend it, just shifted it. Sorry I didn't show the whole process of getting that in there, but I had to finagle that thing in, and I was looking through the fill port over here to make sure that I had everything set, and I actually had the sock folded over part of the time. So I had to pull it up again, put it back down. You just got to work it in there, make sure you don't damage the wiring and you don't damage the fuel return line, and it goes in. And of course I tapped the lock ring in place. I'll show in a second on the fuel level sensor, but that's good and secure now. I'll show you a video from the inside of this, what we're looking at, and then I just want to, again, I want to make sure that this is nice and tight. You want to use a brass drift when you're doing this. If you got fuel in here, I don't have fuel in it, so I'm good. But you could have a spark if you got any fumes and ignite the gas. So here it is, the fuel pump's in place, and that is the anti-slosh little area right there, so that in a hard turn, the fuel pump isn't starved for fuel. The fuel will build up in there and stay in there. But the sock obviously is in there lengthwise with the long end toward the front, which is in that direction. And it's good to go. So that's it. All I got to do now is reinstall the tank, and I can start driving this car again. Hope that helped you out. Don't forget to give me that like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time on Driving Intelligence.